Are you watching TV9 News? I'm Pratibha. Do you own a car or bike that's more than 20 years old? Well, a lot of us here in India do, and even I was one among them. I had a Maruti 800 that was over 20 years old, and I loved the car. All of us who have the classic vehicles know the feeling, right? Well, a couple of years ago, I had to sell mine, and though I was very heartbroken then, I don't feel so bad after having a look at the vehicle scrappage policy that has been announced. The policy is expected to work towards lesser pollution, increase road safety, give a boost to the auto sector and whatnot. Yet, is it going to be a nightmare for the vehicle owners? Do we need to scrap our vehicles after 15 to 20 years of use? What if it's well maintained? Does it apply to all? Let me break down the country's first ever vehicle scrappage program that has been announced. So first things first, why was this policy introduced and how does it affect you? Well, in order to lessen the number of old vehicles on the Indian roads, the government had announced a vehicle scrappage policy in the Union Budget 2021. Now, kindly take note, if you have firstly, commercial vehicles that are older than 15 years and passenger vehicles older than 20 years. If you fall in these two categories, then your vehicle is liable to be scrapped if they fail the fitness and emission tests. However, this policy will not apply to vintage cars. So, where and how can you get your vehicles tested? The vehicles will need a fitness test at the government certified fitness centers, which means that you would have to head to these centers. So how would you get these fitness tests done? Well, the appointment for the fitness centers may be booked online. The test reports will also be generated in an electronic mode. But do remember, if your vehicle is found unfit, it will be deregistered automatically. How much will the fitness test cost you? Well, these fitness tests could cost up to 40,000 rupees. That's right, the fitness test would cost you a whopping 40,000 rupees and it will be valid for 5 years, after which you will need to get a new fitness test for your vehicle. The government is also looking at applying a green tax for vehicles that are older than 20 years. The cost of maintaining an old vehicle will be jacked up so much that one would consider buying a new vehicle. So what happens if you decide to scrap your vehicle? So the owners will be given a scrapping certificate. This would make you eligible for incentives under this scheme that has been announced. So let me tell you what the incentives are. Firstly, 4 to 6% of the ex-showroom price of a new vehicle. Now, the incentives would include the scrap value for the old vehicle, which will be approximately 4 to 6% of the ex-showroom price of the new vehicle. Not just that, road tax would also be rebated under this. The state governments may be advised to offer a road tax rebate of up to 25% for personal vehicles and up to 15% for the commercial vehicles. Not just that, you can also expect big discounts for buying a new vehicle. The vehicle manufacturers are also advised to provide a discount of 5% on the purchase of a new vehicle. Not just that, your registration fee would also be waived off. So there are several advantages. In total, the benefits of up to 10 to 15% can be availed on the older vehicles that have reached the end of their life cycle. The scheme will also be implemented in quite a calibrated manner starting 2022 on select vehicles. So how much will you have to shell out if you decide to renew the registration of your vehicle? Well, for motorcycles, it's going to be around 300 rupees for RC and 1000 rupees for renewal. So here's how much you will have to shell out for the renewal and grant of fitness certificates. It's going to cost you 1000 rupees for motorcycles, 3500 rupees for three-wheelers or quadricycles and 7500 rupees for light vehicles, going up to 10,000 rupees for medium goods and passenger motor vehicles. Now, if you have heavy goods vehicles, it could go up to 12,500 rupees as well. So these are the amounts. So when will this come into effect? Well, the rules for the fitness test and the scrapping centers would be announced on October 1st in the coming month of October. Now, scrapping and the other policies that would begin for the PSUs and other government vehicles as well, and that would be starting April 1st, 2022. There would be mandatory fitness tests for all vehicles, and that's going to begin in 2023 April. This is going to be introduced in a phased manner as well for all the categories, and that's going to begin in the year 2024. The plans have been laid out already, and there are a lot of SOPs for the auto industry, obviously. The pandemic hit the sector quite badly, and even before that, the auto sector had been reeling under losses. This policy is now expected to ensure more buys as it incentivizes new vehicles after 15 years of use. In fact, this is also touted to make India the world's largest automobile hub in the next 5 years. It's expected to lead to a 30% boost to the Indian automobile industry as well. And one of the biggest reasons for the policy is also, of course, to cut down on pollution. So the older vehicles are estimated to cause about 10 to 12 times more pollution than the latest vehicles. Add to it the stops that the government has provided on the electric vehicles. It's expected to make the carbon imprint much lesser in the coming years, which is why this plan has been put in place. But what do you think of the government's plan? Do you think the consumers are going to benefit from this scheme that has been introduced? Or do you think it's going to trouble the consumers in the long run? Do let me know in the comment section. That's all I have for you. Please like, share and subscribe to TV9 Digital. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.